suppression, the use of marijuana.
Hello, and welcome to the ADHD Queens. Wait, that's not it. I'm Ryan.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Tia.
And we are the ADHD Queens.
We'll figure it out.
We're never going to figure that out, you guys.
Probably not.
That's fine.
Now.
It's okay.
Something like that. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about Why I Killed My Best Friend by Amanda Michalopoulou. A story set in Greece during the 70s, 80s, 90s, and
Today.
2000.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think it ends in like the
year
ends in
2000.
2000.
Okay,
Not today, but today when that original context came out. Thank
yes. Yeah, because she says that Kaio has been living with her for 3 years.
Oh, and it
It
was
was New Year's 1997
Yeah.
when he moved in. So 2000 is when it ends. But it starts somewhere in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
We do get more dates kind of as we go through, but I don't remember most of them. So anyway.
you. There's a lot.
There was like, well, they don't even really give us a ton of dates all the time. At certain points, I was like, I don't even know what year this is.
Yeah.
And then it'll drop in like 1987. I was like, okay.
When time moves very quickly, she gave us a few more dates.
Yeah.
But like when it was slower, she didn't because there was a few chapters that spanned a couple years that there were no dates in.
Right.
Anyway, so we start in a present day chapter. The chapters alternate between 2000 and then the flashbacks. And so we start with our main character, Maria. She is teaching a group of first graders art. And in enters a
Stage left.
yes, a very loud, rambunctious child, and it's a new student, and she looks at this child and immediately is like, I know who your mom is.
Yeah.
She looks exactly like her mother. She has half of a white eyebrow.
No, she doesn't have a half white eyebrow. She says that's the only thing she's missing.
That's the only thing that's missing. Okay, same blue eyes, same
Like the
dimple in your
dimple.
chin, same blonde hair. And the little girl, she's trying to get the little girl to calm down, and she's like, I'll tell your mom on you. And the little girl's like, you don't know who my mom is. And she's like, your mom's name is Anna. And she's like, how did you know that?
The drama.
And she says she's a witch. And the little girl is terrified, calms right down.
Yeah.
Very fun, very cute. And that's the end of the chapter.
Yep.
It was
That is
shortest
the
chapter.
only short chapter
It is the
in
only
the book.
short chapter. Everything else is so long.
So long.
Okay, so now we flash back to somewhere in the 70s. Maria is a fourth grader, I think. Third or fourth. She's 9.
She's
9
I was
years
going to
old.
say, she's like 8 or 9 at that point.
Her family lives in Africa, in Nigeria. We don't know why yet. We just know that they live there, and they're moving back to Greece, to Athens, except for her dad. Her dad is staying in Africa for a while. A quote that I have. She gets her head stuck in between the bars of her balcony, and they have to cut the balcony bars to get her out of it. She can't get out without cutting it. So anyway, the mom tells her, you're 9, practically a woman.
Yeah.
And I said, what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's
I'm 32 and not a woman.
barely a person.
Like, I'm not an adult person, let's be honest.
Like, I would still probably
I
get
think
my head
that,
stuck
like-
in
Yeah,
between.
for sure.
prefaces a lot of the like rests of the story though, because I
Oh,
have to keep
100%.
reminding myself
Yeah.
that they're only this old.
They're children.
Yeah, and I did think, Matt, well,
We'll get to
it.
thoughts.
Okay. Yep. So then Maria's mom is mad at her. So Maria's like, I'm a runaway, deuces. Put some eggs in
No,
roller skates.
they don't leave yet.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, because they've already moved. I thought you were still in Nigeria.
No. Sorry, we're in Athens.
We have moved
left
to
Nigeria. We are in Athens, and then Maria, since her dad is still in Nigeria, she's like, I hate mom. I'm running away to dad.
And she
in
hates
Nigeria."
Athens. She misses
Yes,
Africa.
She misses Africa.
And
She
all
misses
of
the
her
food and
peoples that she knows.
Yeah, because like she was born in Nigeria, so she like doesn't know any different, and she's like used to the people who like work for her family and stuff.
Eating bugs.
And eating bugs, eating crickets and grasshoppers. And so, yeah, she tries to run away. She realizes that it's too complicated because she doesn't have any money and stuff. And she's like, how much could a ticket be? $6? And it's like, oh,
It is
no,
more
honey,
than
it's
$6.
more than $6.
Even
So anyway,
in the 70s.
Even in the 70s.
so she gets off and she just sits on her suitcase and waits for someone to come get her, and the police end up taking her back home. The bus driver was annoying. The bus driver, when she gets on, she's a 9-year-old girl, and this bus driver is like, I am going to Africa. And the bus driver's like, oh, the black people there will eat you.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, fuck right off. This little girl is 9.
Yeah.
She is impressionable. Like, she loves her, for all intents and purposes, her family in Africa. Like, she's not racist, but this guy obviously is.
Well, and it prefaces a lot of racism that she sort of tangentially experiences.
Yes, that she didn't realize was racism.
Yeah,
until...
and also people saying shitty things about Africans to her about Africa.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is a lot. But then Maria, she thinks to herself, I have to get back to Nigeria before Gwendolyn has the heart to eat us. And I was like,
yeah, I know.
This one man, like, tainted her.
Yeah.
Already that quickly. I was like, oh, that's so sad.
Children are impressionable. Don't mess them up.
Yes.
They're also not born racist. Thank you.
Yes.
Nope.
Ta-da. So then she gets back home. The cops take her home. Her mom is like crying and is like, oh, thank God you're okay, whatever. And so much happens in such a short little time that a lot of this is going to feel like I'm just like really moving through things, because then we meet Aunt Amalia, and Aunt Amalia tells her that she needs to dig a hole in her head and put her bad feelings in a hole in her head and bury it. And so then
not healthy mental health advice.
And so then Maria's like, well, I'll just dig a hole and put all of Africa in it and bury it. And I was like, hey, that's not chill. So she starts going to school. She hates it. The teacher's kind of a bitch.
The kids are
terrible to
monsters.
her.
Racist.
Yeah.
Asking about the black people in Africa.
Yeah, and just like being mean to her for no reason.
Yep.
Like one of them calls her teapot.
Yeah.
But just says it over and over, so it sounds like potty. Like teapot, 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 teapot.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like she's saying potty. And I was like, God, I don't know. It's terrible. They're gross. She gets in trouble at school a lot. And then one day, Anna arrives. Anna is another 9-year-old girl. If you will remember the girl from chapter 1, this will become her mother. So Anna is a busybody, sort of a know-it-all, bossy 9-year-old girl.
Clearly an only child raised by very liberal-minded parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also kind of inattentive parents.
Yeah.
More so than kind of.
Yeah.
So she's just spoiled.
Yeah.
She gets called spoiled a lot, and I think that's
justifiable.
Yeah. So they are sat together at the front of the class because they're both the new girls. And the teacher pairs them together so that she can keep an eye on them. They're at the front of the class so that they are not disruptive or whatever, even though it's the other kids who are being disruptive. They start to become friends pretty quickly. They have an argument pretty quickly. They get over it pretty quickly.
They bond over the fact that
they're
Anna is they're both
foreign.
Greek,
yes,
but grew up foreign because she's
Yes.
from Paris.
Yes, Anna's from Paris. Maria's from Nigeria. So they bond over the fact that like all of this is brand new to them, even though they are like Greek citizens.
And then it's Anna who gets upset. Like, most of this is actually Anna's emotions and how they impact Maria.
I would say like 97% of the book is Anna's emotions and how they
Correct.
affect Maria. So yeah. Because Anna's mom says that Maria's family is racist.
Yes,
Yeah.
but just because all she knows is that they are Greeks in Africa.
Yes, and so that's what their first fight is about. But then Maria writes a note and stuffs it in Anna's backpack for her to find later that explains we're not racist. Like, my nanny growing up was black, so like I love her and she's
Right.
black, and I love all these other people that were around me in Africa and they were black. And so then Anna's mom, I guess, comes around and Anna can be friends with her again.
Yeah, like that one specific thing you can definitely tell is from very much a child's perspective because
Yes.
you get so little information on
Yes.
what's correct and what's not. Because maybe her parents are racist.
No, absolutely. It's like they do have black servants.
Yeah.
And
In
In
Africa.
in Africa.
Which is
and we're
later
not really.
we find out that her family was in Africa because they're like oil people.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
So it's
yeah,
not great.
It's not great, but like this little girl
Is
is
not.
not racist.
No, she's for
And-
sure not. Because we're in her brain.
Yeah.
And she's just like, whatever. She just doesn't. She really doesn't see a problem with anybody's race.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she tries to explain that to a lot of people, but she's 9, so she doesn't really
Right.
have the words to like explain things
Yeah.
very well. So anyway, a lot of stuff gets kind of muddled in translation.
Not
from,
a reliable author or
Narrator.
Narrator.
Yes.
My bad. The author's fine.
not yes, an unreliable narrator, but she doesn't know or think that she's unreliable.
Correct.
Well,
In like
she's
a-
just a child.
She's
Right.
just a
You
kid.
know?
Yeah,
This
it's
is
just like
the
the
only
skewed
perspective she has.
perspective of childhood.
Yeah.
Which reminds me of Bluey.
Man.
That's another story.
So then, after this little tiff between them, Anna's mom invites her over during lunch, but Maria doesn't tell her mom where she's going, so then Maria's mom freaks out. But we get to finally meet Anna's mom, Antigone. And Antigone is a ballerina,
Yeah.
and that's really it.
And liberal with a capital
yes,
L.
very, very liberal.
Borderline communist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's a lot of political stuff happening. Just be
Yeah,
aware of
we'll
that.
talk about
We'll talk
that.
about it. So, I don't know. Time goes on, yada, yada. When she gets home from Anna's parents' house, Anna's mom's house, her mom puts her in the pantry as like timeout, sort of.
Yeah.
And so while she's in there, she's just like counting groceries and stuff. And she gets up on a stool and she falls off the stool and breaks her arm. Which,
Oh, also, this entire time she has half a missing pinky finger.
Yes.
This is mentioned
That's
every once in a while. We will
not
get there. That's not relevant
Explained
here.
yet.
yeah.
But I was just like, hey, there was something else up with her arm.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually too.
Yeah, so she has
Just know
broken arm. And I was, and it said like it wasn't even like half of her pinky. So I was
like
like
the tip.
picturing like
Yeah,
the
the
first
tip.
knuckle.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was picturing too. Just like her first knuckle is gone.
And yeah, kids are making fun of her for that too, for like whatever fucking reason.
Ableism,
Yeah.
childhood.
Yeah. Anna starts teaching Maria French. They start smoking cigarettes at 9 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was the 70s. Sorry.
And
And they're from Paris.
Yeah, and they're talking about La Révolution.
Yeah, like
Yes.
like
A lot.
A lot.
So yeah, it's sort of like Anna's parents have like said all of this stuff around her, and she's just parroting it.
Yes.
It's like not. It does not seem like she actually knows what the hell she's talking
Right.
about.
It's not until like their middle school years when she's kind of grasping it, but it's still like you're still just kind of spewing whatever your parents are saying.
Yeah, they play all of these games
yeah.
where they're just sort of like saying the phrases, but
Yeah.
they don't mean anything to them
Yeah, because they're children.
because they're children. And no one has explained any of this.
yeah.
It seems like, her parents are just talking about all of this around her.
Yeah, and like we said, her parents are kind of, well, more than kind of inattentive. So she's probably thinking, if I repeat these things that they're saying, maybe they'll pay attention
They'll
to me
like
because
me.
they'll like me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad. Anyway, so then summertime comes. Maria is not going back to Africa, but Maria's mom is. And Anna is going to Paris, so Maria has to spend the summer with her Aunt Amalia in Aegina, where she meets Martha and Fotini, two other girls her age, and they do like beauty pageants and whatever, and then Maria has a crush on their older brother, Angelos. First little bit of school, Maria wins a drawing contest. She draws a picture of a family in a storeroom, sort of like pantry type of thing, based on what she had in Africa. But the family that's there looks like Anna's family, not like her own family.
She's very vocal about idolizing her blonde hair.
Yes.
A lot.
Yes.
Oh, also the mom has severe depression.
Yes.
And that's part of the reason why Maria struggles to do anything
Yes.
really like articulating with her emotions.
So she wins this drawing contest with this picture that has Anna's family in it, but then Anna takes it, crosses a bunch of shit out, and like redoes it to like correct it.
In like a revolutionary way, right? Yeah.
And like changes the newspaper that the dad is reading to a liberal one.
Yeah.
And just like weird stuff. Crosses out the baby and turns it into a coffee table.
Yeah.
Like there's a baby in the picture and she just like
wants a
colors it
sibling.
over.
Yeah.
Maria wants
Yeah.
a sibling, and Anna's like, why?
It could just be a coffee table.
Yeah, and like Maria says like, well, I've always wanted a sister, and she's like, well, we're sisters.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus.
Which whatever.
All the red flags.
Yes.
Yeah. Mom knits a blanket. Maria gets glasses. Anna gets the mumps. Antigone wears a wig.
Oh yeah, this is like a moment for Maria where she sees Antigone. Like Antigone's always like being like really up on a pedestal about like,
Not being hypocritical.
yeah, you can't be
and-
hypocritical. You have to be true and you have to be honest. Blah blah blah. And then Maria sees her take off a wig and she's like, what?
And it's not even like a regular wig. It's literally just like the braid. Like
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
the back end of
Yeah,
her
it's
hair.
just like a hair extension situation.
Yeah.
And this like
Like a
rocks
clip-on
Maria.
braid.
She's like, what is true if Antigone's hair doesn't look like this? She is like shaken.
Yeah. And then it never really comes up again. Like, that's not important. It's just like,
She just
it does kind of influence Maria's, like, what is real.
yeah,
Yes.
it sort of shows that, like people can be hypocrites sometimes. This is a thing that happens.
Yep. They throw a birthday party for Maria, and Anna's a bitch to everyone just by being bossy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's chapter 2. Chapter 3,
Yeah.
like I said, so much happens that a lot of this
And,
is just going to
yeah.
sound listy.
Everything in this chapters are just like an abundance. I think I only got to chapter. Oh, by the way, I did not finish this book because of school stuff. So I think I got through halfway through chapter 5. So
Okay.
I will leave the rest to you all.
Do you know how it ends?
Nope.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm excited, but I also still want to finish the book later. So.
That's fair. Well, it's spoilers.
Yes.
You're going to get this spoiled.
Spoilers, what?
So we're back in 2000. Maria lives with a, quote, depressed homosexual.
I wrote that quote down too. It's like, cheers, buddy, who isn't?
Correct.
Kaio is 40. He has a cat. The cat's name is Anna Maria,
Yeah.
which I think is funny.
So funny.
Maria tells him about Anna's daughter that we met in chapter 1. And then we kind of speed run a bunch of like protests and demonstrations and like journalism stuff that Maria and Kaio and their close friends have been doing over the past however many years.
Yeah.
So they are all still
Very.
very
politically
into
engaged.
politics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which started when Maria was clearly influenced by this strange little
Yes.
French Greek girl.
Yeah.
Yes. So we know that Maria and Anna are no longer friends. We don't know why.
It's referred to as that thing.
The
Yes.
thing. And eventually the thing with the Albanian guy.
Yes. So Anna gives her daughter a business card to give to Maria at school. It has her number on it. Daphne says, "My mom wants you to call her."
Daphne is Anna's child.
Daphne is
I don't
the
think
name
we
of
said
the
name.
child. Yeah.
These are all very like Greek mythology names. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
So they wind up getting. Maria never calls Anna, so Anna just shows up at school and is like, "Hey, can we chat?" And they're talking a little bit, but Anna passively like mentions, "Hey, what about that thing?"
The thing.
The thing. And Maria's like, "Well, I also call it the thing because I don't know how to put my feelings and thoughts into words about that." And,
Did you get to the thing? Okay, cool. This is fun. All right.
And then they don't talk about it anymore. It's just, that thing happened. That was bad, right? LOL. So then she's talking about, Anna is talking about her life since they
Separated.
haven't been friends.
They divorced, essentially.
Yeah, basically. She has a daughter now, obviously. She's married to an architect, and she does the, like, interior design and, like, art installations for the architecture. They work together.
Isn't he like 10 years older than her?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he's been married twice before her. And then
And
I
has-
actually learn about those, and I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He also has 3 other kids
Yeah.
that are just
We just don't really do anything about them.
goodbye.
Yep.
I don't know where they're at. Probably in Paris, I would imagine, with
Why
their
not?
mom. Anyway, that's the end of chapter 3. Chapter 4, we're back in the past. It's now 8th grade. Anna is like, "Hey, we need to practice kissing.
Yeah.
Let's kiss." And Maria's like, "Huh?"
Gay.
Yes. And
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
That's as queer as this book gets.
It gets a little
Yeah.
queer.
Okay.
We have a
There's-
depressed homosexual. Come on.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we have
right.
a depressed homosexual, and there's another one involved.
Yes.
But then, so when they do kiss, Anna's all like, "Ew, no, not too much, or else we'll turn into lesbians."
Oh, no.
Because they're 14. Whatever. Anna kisses a boy. Maria kisses a boy.
They know everything about everything about everything. It's kind of disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's better that they talk about stuff, but it's like one-sided. Like the expectation
Yes.
is one-sided. That's
Yes.
the problem.
Yep.
So basically, Anna makes everything into a competition. Who can kiss a boy first? Who can have sex first? Which college major they choose is they have to be
They
together.
have to be the
so
same.
They have to be the same because they're going to be best friends forever.
So, like, Anna was going to pick psychology.
Yes.
But Maria's like, well, I'm going to do art. And Anna's like, I'm going to do art.
So then there's an earthquake. This is the first time that Anna has like acted scared around Maria, and Maria thinks to herself, Anna's fear makes me stronger.
If it was in like I feel stronger because, there's like
Like you want to support them.
yeah, because
Yes.
there's like, if there's a spider and I'm alone, I'm a child and I panic. If there's a spider and there's someone else, I can get that spider out for that person. And their fear makes me stronger. However, that is not what Maria means.
No. She says, finally, this girl has a weakness. Maybe I
Yes.
can use that.
Honey, can we see that this is not healthy?
Yeah, she's constantly looking for reasons that Anna sucks. And she's always getting reasons that Anna sucks. But she just...
Maria can't stand up for herself, but Anna is like very overpowering.
Yeah.
It's not great. And yeah, Maria is very much like, I need to find weaknesses.
Well, and like you can definitely see where it comes from both of their sets of parents.
Yes.
Oh,
respectfully.
absolutely.
I'm like, I see why
I
you
understand.
turned out the way you did.
Yes.
The psychological development of these characters is actually pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. It all makes sense. So then Maria goes and visits her for Easter. Anna is dating a boy named Raul, and sets Maria up with Raul's friend Michelle. Then
They swap.
yeah, Maria is awake. Anna is still asleep. Anna's dad is like, hey, let's go get breakfast across the street. Anna can wake up whenever and come across and join us then. When Anna comes over, she's pissed because that's her dad.
Yeah.
And she says to Maria, basically, if I have to share my dad with you, you have to share Michelle with me, which is gross.
Yes.
So then they swap boyfriends.
Which would have been fine had it actually been consensual. But
No, right.
literally no one agreed to it except Anna.
Yes.
And Raul.
And Raul was
Well,
chill with it.
After him, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Maria finally is like, I'm sick of you telling me what to do. I don't want to kiss you. I don't want to kiss these boys. I don't want to swap these boys.
Yeah.
I'm an 8th grader.
Yeah.
Let me
Literally.
Let's just remember this.
So then Anna's dad is like, hey, convince Anna to move back to Greece. If you get her to go back to Greece, I'll pay for your school here in Paris. And then turns out that's a lie, but that comes later.
Shocking.
Rude.
Anna's parents sucking. What?
Yeah. So that summer, Anna and Maria both go to Aegina again. Anna tries to help Maria win over Angelos. Anna ends up having sex with Angelos, and Maria's pissed. But then they get over it, and
Because like Anna cries about it. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, you didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
and she's like, "Will you ever forgive me?"
Like-
Before she even knows like what happened. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a very strange.
Interaction.
Yeah. So then Maria starts dating a boy named Pavlos, loses her virginity to him. He's a socialist. Her dad is a right winger, so those two don't really get along.
She loses her virginity the day that the socialists win the election.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they're celebrating in the streets, and he's like, hey, let's go somewhere.
And she's like, all right.
Let's do it.
Oh, also she's been masturbating this whole
Oh,
time.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
And apparently
she
she's
has
gotten
to keep
really
it
good
a
at
secret. She has to keep it a secret from Anna. She has a secret that Anna will never know.
Yeah.
But Anna's like having sex too.
Yeah.
So whatever. Anna tells Maria she's pregnant and wants an abortion. She breaks up with Angelos and doesn't tell him about the pregnancy. And they move on.
Yeah.
It's barely mentioned again. So that's chapter 4. Chapter 5, we're back in 2000. Maria finally goes over to Anna's house, and they have 5 martinis.
Yeah.
And talk about just like a bunch of stuff. Anna's husband, Aristonymus, is and Anna, in their architecture company, they reveal this like weird theory plan that they're working on.
Yeah.
And they're
Backwards attempt at
yes, so they're trying to like stick it to the man, to the capitalist overlords.
by being the capitalist overlord.
What?
Yeah,
but
they're-
like shitty versions, quote unquote.
Yeah, so their theory is that if they make these for a while, it'll make the company really productive and really profitable and everything, but then the workers will get sick of it, and so then the workers will rebel.
Because that's worked every time.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, I see where your theory is coming from, but it's bad.
But also, like, can we talk about how many instances of just actual shit situations don't get revolutions?
Yeah.
And these are like reasonable. They're just kind of ugly.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, okay, guys,
Yeah,
did you read history at all?
the answer is no.
No, no, they didn't. They read like
They
liberal
skimmed it.
flyers.
Yeah.
And regurgitated what their parents said.
Exactly.
Maria is like, y'all are crazy. Later, Maria and Kaio are starting a new protest demonstration flash mob situation
Yeah.
at the city's metro station. That's a band name. Sorry.
It is.
Metro station. That was a
Throwback.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Don't make me start singing.
So they're
Not now.
So they're finally like starting this thing. They're dressed in wigs and glasses and
Yeah.
have
Like,
whistles.
Color, like each one has a different. Each set have different colored
colors,
everything.
And while they're on the train going toward the metro station, a woman comes up to her and she's scared and is like, what's going on? Because like the train's not stopping at any of the stations. Maria hands her a flyer, but the woman says, I don't know how to read Greek because she is an Albanian immigrant.
The drama.
She thinks in her head, Anna, the Albanian's face still haunts me. Then she passes out. But then we flash back again to 1986. Anna is in Paris studying art. Maria didn't get into college, but then she meets a woman named Diana who teaches at the Athens School of Fine Arts, who invites her to audit her classes. And this is where it gets
Gay.
Okay, cool.
She says she's around 40 with beautiful almond eyes. From her warm handshake and the look of encouragement in her eyes, I know I've hit the jackpot. I wrote that down and then I wrote gay.
Yeah.
And
It do
then-
be gay.
And then on the next page, she says, I let my hands guide my way to more creative acts, sometimes on paper, sometimes on Diana's body.
Yep.
And then I wrote gay with exclamation points between each letter. And then Anna sucks again. Maria's telling Anna about Diana, and Anna says, just don't tell me you're a lesbian now.
Oh my god.
Like, just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You made me kiss you. Shut up.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. So Diana and Anna have an argument while Maria's like introducing them. Anna leaves crying, and Diana tells Maria, if you go after her, we're through. Maria goes
after her because of course she does.
Yep. So,
Short-lived gay.
yep, very short.
Sadness.
And then also, like, not really ever mentioned again. Maria meets with the head of the art school and his wife, and the wife convinces her to take some art lessons and to retake the school entrance exams so that she can go the next year. Maria goes to Paris to visit Anna, and we finally meet Kaio, who is the depressed homosexual that Maria now lives with.
In the present day.
In the present day, but you know, he is a depressed homosexual, and Maria is in fact in love with him.
So obsessed
Obvious.
with him. She doesn't say this out loud, but she's thinking it. It's not too late to think seriously about bisexuality and to pass from there into heterosexuality into incurable love for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
She starts wearing men's clothes and cuts her hair really short.
She is a
look
tragically toxic human being. Got it.
Yeah.
It's worse.
Yes.
I know. That's the thing is like
She's
you
just
start
like so
out.
desperately in love with him because he's hot and
Yeah.
smells like Africa.
Yeah.
He's black
he's-
and
yeah.
she misses Africa. So the first time they meet, she literally like physically runs into him, and she smells him, and she's like, "You smell like Africa," and he's like, "Whoa, get the fuck away from me!" And she's like, "No, no, no, no."
I'm from Africa.
I was born in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a funny little meet cute, but he, honey,
He has to keep being like, girl.
I'm
No.
so gay. And she just kind of doesn't get it until she's much older.
Yeah.
Bruh.
But she also says in one of the flash forward chapters that like one of her younger friends also seems like she's in love with him. So it's kind of like his personality and his charm is just like appealing to everyone.
Everyone is just obsessed with him.
Yeah. So
He should just become Pan.
yeah.
No, exactly. Well, and that I put hypocrite alert after I wrote down that quote about like, okay, well, he could be bisexual and then become heterosexual.
Yes.
It's like,
Right.
but also you
Are
not straight. Seemingly, you dated a woman.
yeah.
So it's like, so you understand the fluidity of sexuality and the fact that he could be with you and still be bisexual, but not dealing with that.
So anyway, she changes
It's a
her
lot to
appearance and a bunch of
unpack.
shit and
Yeah.
is trying to get him to love her, and he's just like, LOL. Anyway, they go back to Paris for her 20th birthday. She stays with Kaio instead of with Anna.
Oh no. The drama.
Yeah, it does cause some drama, but it's not important.
Good.
Then the AIDS epidemic is a topic of interest. Kaio is gay, so everyone's like, hey, be safe.
Yeah.
But then Anna's like, even if I have it, I'd still have sex.
Yeah.
because
And
you're
because
a
she's
terrible
gross.
fucking human being.
And
she will refuse to find out if she even has it and will spread it regardless and not tell people about it. It's like, honey.
You are the worst type of person on this planet.
Yeah.
yep. And then Maria's mom says she thinks that God sent AIDS.
Yeah, that sounds like something she would say from the very brief interactions I've had with her.
Yep. Later in the summer, Maria finally has like had enough of Anna's bullshit. She doesn't like her, and she says, "I can't be like you. I don't want to be like you. I don't like the way you are."
Got her.
And Anna
Snaps.
does not take it well.
Well,
Then another few months later, Anna's dad dies, and she's all like catatonic for a little bit, and winds up making Maria. Well, Maria comes to like help her through like the funeral
yeah.
arrangement situation, and Anna winds up making Maria stay for several months.
Jesus.
And because like her dad wrote a book and her dad was socialist, and Anna didn't know he was socialist because Anna is communist, she thinks, and
She doesn't know,
she
let's
doesn't
be
really
honest.
know. She flip-flops a lot too. She's like environmentalist, and then she's communist, and then she's not, and then
She
she's-
literally just like tries new politics on.
Yes. And then, like, it's also, like, whatever suits her at that time, like, whatever will benefit her at that point in time. Like, she meets a cute guy. He's an environmentalist, so she's going to save the rainforest with him.
Yep.
And so it's just, like, whatever is going to benefit her is the politics that she winds up taking. And, yeah, so then Maria goes back to Greece. Anna's pissed off. Shocker.
Jesus.
Flash forward again, Maria wakes up after fainting in the train. This is one of those like moments. It's like, I'll tell the whole story from my point of view. I'll let Anna have the title though, Why I Killed My Best Friend.
So we don't actually kill our best friend.
Well, wait.
Oh, okay, cool.
This is not the end of the book.
Where are we at now?
Chapter 7 of 9. Okay, so finally Maria says, hey, you and I, we have to talk about that thing. Then they don't tell us
God damn
again.
it.
And
They do eventually.
There's some vague references to it was an accident, and Maria's like, we should be in prison. There is some more stuff that happens, but then finally...
We're finally talking about the Albanian man.
We're finally talking about the Albanian man. They go to Aegina again for the summer, and then Anna's like, this island sucks, let's go to a different island. So they go to a different island, and they're sunbathing on the beach, and it's like cliffs, as Greece be. And this man comes up and is like catcalling them, and Anna is like, get lost, you fool, like calls this man a fool, and then the man attacks them.
Well, he goes for Maria because he
Yes.
thinks Maria is the one that said it.
Yes. And so then Anna's trying to get this man off of Maria, and a scuffle happens, and the man winds up going off a cliff.
Okay, but he kind of deserved that.
Yes.
so.
Yes.
No.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. And then, surprise, he dies.
He can't swim.
He can't swim.
So he drowns. He doesn't even, it's not the impact, it's the fact that he can't swim.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
I don't
so-
feel bad for him.
No, I don't either. But then the girls are like, what the fuck do we do? What happened? But then also Maria, in this scuffle, has a sort of a flash of a memory.
Oh?
And she sees 3 men wearing like pantyhose over their heads coming toward her to attack her
In a cave.
in a cave. And so then they're like, what do we do? Do we go to the cops? And Anna's like, no, we need to just like calm down for a little bit. And while they're not sleeping that night, Maria says like, oh, I saw this thing. And Anna is like, tell me more about it, like try to remember more details. And so then we finally get the reason that Maria and her family moved away from Africa, and it's because another white man in Africa didn't like something that Maria's dad did, and orchestrated this robbery on their house. And the robbery, no one was supposed to be home, but then Maria and
Gwendolyn,
her like nanny, were home, and so they took Maria for ransom.
So she was kidnapped.
She was kidnapped, and she tries to run away, and
Well, she has a little
she
doll.
has a doll with her, and the doll.
The doll is like her best friend.
Yes, because she doesn't have a sister, which we also find out her mom miscarried.
They give her the doll to sort of help her through
Yes.
the death of her little sister.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Well, that explains
they
some
bury
stuff.
the little sister. So then in this cave, she tries to run away. The bad guys break the doll's head off.
So she a
And-
little traumatized.
So she's traumatized because this is her sister. Like the doll talks to her in her mind.
Yeah.
And
That's some real child coping right there. Jesus
Yep.
Christ.
And so the bad guys are like, if you try to run away again, we'll do that to you. So then later on, she tries to walk away instead of run away. And that's when her pinky finger gets cut off, or the tip of it.
Yes.
Jesus.
So this big traumatic event of killing the Albanian man, accidentally, well, not even killing him, really. They push him into the ocean. He can't swim. He drowns.
It's his fault for
It's-
drowning.
Yep.
How dare you?
Reawakens like this memory of the past. And turns out Anna kind of knew the whole time, because one summer Maria was like upset with Anna and went and hid in like a cave on the beach and just like read and hung out for the day, and then she wound up falling asleep in this cave. So then when they find her in the cave, everyone's like worried about her. And Antigone, Anna's mom, talks to Maria's mom, and Maria's mom tells her like, we're really worried about this because we found her in a cave with her pinky cut off
Right.
when all of these bad things happened, and she was like eating crickets because she didn't have any food.
Oh, that's where that
That's
came
why
from.
she was eating crickets.
Jesus
And so she had
Christ.
repressed all of this. Then this incident with the Albanian man brings all of it up. We find out that Anna knew all along, which is a weird power imbalance that Anna was probably using some things against her.
Which she was doing this entire time anyway.
Yeah. And so that thing with the Albanian man is they pushed him off a cliff and he drowned.
Well, and there was something like the newspaper said that he was maybe connected to some sort of Albanian mob or something.
Yes.
So
So trauma.
that is and that's sort of why they're like,
Never really went forward with anything.
because they don't know if then the Albanian mob is going to come after them.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
And so then they decide we can never see each other ever again. Goodbye. Anna moves to Paris and Maria moves to Aegina, and that's why they are not friends at the start of the book.
That's a weird resolution to
This
that
is
whole
not the
conflict.
resolution.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
like, just like their
Yes.
A
decision.
weird thing to come to.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very interesting.
If
Yeah.
anything, I'd be like, you need to stay as close as possible in case some shit happens.
No, right.
Like,
Yeah, but no, they decide, nope, goodbye.
interesting.
Then in the present, they are setting up another demonstration. They're going to occupy the Attic Highway, which is just like a highway that leads into the city. But there's a group of sort of rundown shacks that people are living in along one side of the highway, and the state is going to bulldoze them to like add on to the highway because of eminent domain and whatever. And they're like, we don't want that to happen, so we are going to do this protest, and it's sort of it's like a performance art mixed with protest. They are all on the street. They start hanging clotheslines across the roads, and they live there like on the street for like a week.
Nice.
And then things get bad.
I believe that.
The police show up. They're throwing tear gas. Fighting happens. Like it's a bad time for everyone. And the police are firing shots into the air. Something happens. We don't know whether it was intentional or not. Anna gets shot and dies.
ACAB.
But the reason that Anna was even there was because she had an argument with Maria.
Yes.
And Maria was like, you're not even really into politics right now. You're doing all of this bullshit that is nothing. And Anna's like, I'll show you.
Yeah. Maria has this
Yeah.
group of friends that does all these protests and these demonstrations, and Anna is like weaseling her way into it and trying
And
to...
everyone loves her.
Everyone loves her because she's
Maria's
so
pissed.
charming.
Yeah.
And so Maria's like, nah, fuck this.
Does she feel guilt? Does Maria feel guilt?
She has a lot of emotions at the end
Yeah.
because it is like she drove her there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did, but also Anna let herself be driven there, and also this is just their entire relationship.
Yeah.
Is one-upmanship, and yeah.
Yeah, and like it even alludes maybe Anna got shot on purpose.
Yeah, like
Like it's like, oh, I'll show you how much of a martyr I am. I'll die
Gotcha.
for
yeah,
the cause.
she gets like interviewed. She is like quoted. She there's an interview right before she's shot. So she gets this like really empowering quote. Did she like put herself out there on purpose? Probably she didn't expect to die, but did she expect to get shot?
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of and then there are a ton of newspaper articles right at the end.
Yeah. The last chapter is a letter to Anna that Maria writes, and like 5 or 6 newspaper articles, as well as some poetry that Anna wrote in her youth.
It's all just like, wow, this is incredible. This
Praising
blah 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 blah
her.
blah. Oh, and Angeliki, the girl who
Like was awful to all of them.
yeah, she writes a thing she writes a newspaper article about how great friends they were or whatever.
Yeah.
I do love
for
that.
her 2 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
And then in the letter that Maria finally writes to Anna, there's like animosity and anger and grief. Just like, all of the stages of grief are in this letter. And she finally is like, all right.
Yeah, it's just sort of like, this is kind of not necessarily an inevitable ending, but like kind of an inevitable ending where you both have been spending your entire lives doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought the politics of the friendship and the politics that are happening in the world around them, it just made everything muddy.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that the problem, if I had time, I would have done some history text reading of the politics of this time.
No, definitely.
Because they're saying words of
the names of the parties.
the names of the parties, but also saying well, this one is left wing and this one is communist and they hate each other. But we're not really talking about what does that look like in this, because at least in American politics, left-leaning socialist communists, they all have different things, but they at least sort of kind of work together.
Yeah.
They all are just we hate right-wing people, and it's they're not necessarily best friends and they will clash, but this is all they're arch nemesis. And it's so I want to know why.
Right.
Why these politics are like that and why do you hate these people? And I could not follow.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was my struggle. Was I don't know Greek history.
Yeah.
No,
as
me
well.
neither.
I think this is probably one of the first ones where I didn't know the culture or any of the history in advance.
Yes.
So yeah, and they were referencing so many philosophers of the times,
and
I was
quoting them.
Dude, I was I know these are important people, and I've recognize a name or two, not many, but two. And I was just I unfortunately, because I didn't finish the book either, I didn't have time to figure out what the reference was, so then how it referenced into this whole setting.
There was a point where they were talking about the group that Maria is in, and it seemed like it was an important group. We were just supposed to know, dropping it. And then there was another instance that was after the wiretapping scandal, but we didn't really talk about it. And when they said it, it was sort of like Watergate to us. We know what Watergate is, and it seemed like I was supposed to know what this was.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find what happened in the 80s because it happened again in 2013 and then also 2022.
Right.
So that meant that with the same freaking political party. And so I was okay, so I cannot, number one, you guys. But also that means that I can't find any information.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably, if I really dug into it, but everything was the scandal in 2022. And the farthest back I could find was 2013 because we spent so much time talking about that. And now we have a new one. And I couldn't find anything on the old one.
And you have to look for translations and all of that.
Yeah,
and that
exactly.
Makes it even more difficult.
So I would be really interested in reading more.
That's why I wish this was an audiobook, so I could have
read
it while I was driving and stuff.
And taken, because it takes more physical time to sit there and read through, and I can't stop and go do. It would have been very nice to have been an audiobook.
Yeah,
that's my bad. Sorry about it. Yeah, I don't really understand why she wanted to call the novel "Why I Killed My Best Friend" before.
See,
she died.
I was thinking, because I'll give the title to Anna. I was thinking that she was saying, this is how Anna killed her.
Oh my God.
And I don't know if that's true.
No, that makes so much more sense. Because,
this is, it could also be the pachinko thing where I had this really in-depth reason why it was called pachinko. And the author was just no, it's a game. And it's okay, fair enough. But that was how I read that, was she's slowly tearing down Maria over and over and over again and trying to build her back up in the way that she wants her, but you can't do that. So anyway.
No, I mean, even if it is, I thought your reasoning for why Pachinko was called Pachinko
That
made
was completely
so much
logical.
sense.
Okay, thank you.
I think that should be adopted.
So yeah, like
That's fact.
no, so that
Thank
makes
you.
a lot more sense to me. That like
But
the
that
title is from the point of view of Anna because the book is from the point of view of Maria. Why?
right. So like they are both killing each other
Yes.
is sort of
Yeah.
the thing. Is like Maria is thinking like, well, Anna is killing me, and then by the end it's like, oh, I killed Anna.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's
I just it was so dense with the amount of things that are happening that seem irrelevant but then get called back to, so they are a little bit relevant. It
sort of
just-
like Man Called Uva.
yeah, I didn't like any of the characters, but I don't really think you're supposed
You're not
to like
supposed to.
anyone.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And so it's just it was just a interesting thing that I have to sit with for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, well, and I finished this like a week and a half ago because I needed to give my book to
I
Tia.
read the
so
entire thing yesterday.
yeah. So I think it has warmed on me the more that I thought about it, and definitely as we were talking.
Well, and it was really slow for me to try and read.
I felt like it was so slow at the beginning.
Like the first little snippet thing, chapter, guys.
yeah. Easily halfway through or past, it was a slog to read.
Yeah.
But then
thought
I
that
was
the
like,
whole time.
yeah, well, that's fair. I read the last half, I think, on the Sunday that I gave you the book.
Nice.
I just like sat down. I didn't have anything else to do, and I was like, okay, we're doing it, and I finished it. And
Yeah.
I felt like, I couldn't conceptualize the politics. I don't know. Maybe I have sort of run out of books for countries that I haven't read from that have audiobooks
Yeah.
that I have been trying to read. So I am trying to dig deeper and find other ones with audiobooks. But maybe I'll just like find some sort of Greek 70s, 80s, 90s history,
Yeah.
To give you
It's
governmental
also-
history.
It's hard to read about all these clashing politics when like we're living that.
Yeah.
So that
Right
was another
now.
reason that it was hard for me to read because I was like, man, like I read to like escape
Yeah, and this is like
like
putting you in the
escapism,
back in
and
it.
this is just like more politics.
I think so. Because I couldn't fully grasp the references, I did focus more on the like development between their relationship.
Yeah,
and,
for
like,
sure.
How Maria was just always observing everything and never saying anything. And I actually ended up identifying really strongly with her because I had a friendship like this.
Me too.
And I'm so grateful that I cut them off when I did
Yeah.
because I can't imagine if this, like, not the killing
Right.
either person, the Albanian or Anna, but like the constant like battle of being like, no, I'm developing as a different person than you want me to be. I need to go this route. You
Yeah.
need to go your route. Like, it's okay.
Like Anna wouldn't even let Maria sing the songs that she wanted to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if she was humming a song that was like a popular song on the radio, Anna would be like, "No, we need to sing a political
revolution-y.
revolution song."
And like I feel like Maria also got heavily involved in all of that stuff because Anna was talking so much about it, and then Anna doesn't
Well,
continue to do anything.
That is
with
the
that.
most interesting thing for me is that Anna is this strong-willed person who has opinions, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
She is like, that is what's so interesting is that she comes in and she like forces Maria to have all of these opinions, but then she starts dating someone new and they have different opinions, and now those are her opinions.
Oh, I know that
And-
person too.
Yeah, and that is
Completely different
Or
human.
like, we're going into philosophy, and Maria's like, well, I thought about art, and now Anna's into art, and it's just like, this is such an interesting person. And the thing is that, like, you could read it as like, well, that's not a very well-rounded character because they're doing something hypocritical, but the character is hypocritical.
Yeah.
Is the thing is that she thinks she's always right. And so when she changes her mind about something, she is now right. And she was right, but she is also now right.
She has like narcissistic tendencies, but she absorbs the personality of the people
Yes.
she cares about
Yeah.
the most.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of conflicting mental disorder.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
found her
the
very interesting, but also
Chameleon sort of effect.
Yeah.
yeah.
But like a really aggressively self-centered chameleon.
Yeah, like
Who like changes the color.
changing herself to fit in with whatever is going to benefit her.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
it's not chameleoning to fit in and be part of the group.
No.
It's I need to benefit in some way. So
Yeah.
I'm going to change myself so that I am benefiting, and then I'm going to take over.
Yeah, and change the people around me too. Yeah. It's
Yeah, so it's like the chameleon effect with the narcissism.
just so
accumulates into-
interesting.
God, she sucks.
Yeah, they all suck.
They all suck
so
because that's the
bad.
thing is like, and I was actually pretty impressed with the author because like you could have written this book where Maria does all the same things but is an eternally sympathetic character, because you could have written it in like, look at poor Maria.
Yes.
But she did not. She did a very good job of like, you understand 100% why Maria is like this. And at the beginning, she is a very sympathetic character, but she allows it to get too far, and she allows herself to be within Anna's thrall for too long.
Yeah.
And she turns into a non-sympathetic character. And I thought that was masterfully done, because you absolutely could have, because you also still do. I mean, the letter that she writes at the end to Anna is so interesting because it is very self-aware. She is like, this is kind of why we got here. And I am feeling angry at you for doing that, for letting me get to you to the point that you went and did that. I am angry at me for getting to that point. I also understand that this was gonna happen. You know, it's just a very interesting, I don't know. I was kind of impressed that I didn't like any of these people. I knew exactly why they did everything.
Yeah.
But you could have made Maria a victim the entire time, but that's not useful. And it's not helpful either, because she wasn't.
And it's not interesting.
It's not interesting, and
Yeah.
it doesn't really do anything for you.
I also think it's funny that like Anna wanted to be a psychology major, and like this
Yep.
whole thing is like
Lol.
super psychoanalyzing
Of
everything.
everything about Anna. It's a case study specifically without the person who's in it or watching knowing that it's a case study.
Yeah. God.
Actually, taking my lifespan psych class was interesting while reading this, because I could pick out some of the development things that were happening in
Yeah, I bet.
Maria and why she wasn't able to like pinpoint certain things. And I was like, wow, so they suck because they're kids, but it turns out they're just going to continue sucking all the way through adults because they're not figuring out what it is that sucks about them.
Right, and because they don't have parents that are doing any of that. They
Yeah,
have
'cause
parents because
Maria's mom is like, oh, just let God
well,
go and let
Maria's
God. Ha ha ha.
Maria's mom is depressed from losing
Yeah.
her baby and just totally ignores the alive child.
Yeah.
And Antigone and Anna's dad are just like, politics.
Yeah, and Antigone is like always out doing demonstrations, doing protests, and taking Anna with her sometimes, but not explaining
Any of it. She just
what
says,
they're fighting
"Oh, you
for.
should know this information." Blah blah blah. blah.
And when
Yeah.
they
But
sing
why?
a song that's political in the other way, from in a right-leaning way or in a socialist way or whatever, the mom gets mad at them and is like, well, that song is from these people who did that.
And we're like,
But
Yeah.
then is just like doesn't explain like
There's no
what this-
nuance.
there's no nuance, and there's no explaining the significance of
Yeah.
the events that are
It's
happening.
all
She
just,
says
like,
the name of the event.
this is wrong because it's wrong, and this is right because it's right, but not
Yeah.
like this party is doing this or has done this, and this is why we do not support them, or explaining literally anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel like
It's still definitely not one of my favorites, but it was
Yeah.
interesting as hell.
yeah.
I did like the writing style. I think the author did a good job.
Yes.
Oh, the thing that I think the author did so well is like when it's from the point of view of 9-year-old
Yeah.
Maria, it seems like it's from the point of view of a
actual child.
9-year-old.
Yeah.
And when it's a 14-year-old Anna, it seems like it. And like the voice of the narrator grows up as the character grows up. And I thought that was
really
fascinating.
well
Yes.
Like that was really
I know.
well done. Because it could have just been like
Yeah.
the same all the way through.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't make sense unless
Right.
it was like third person. Not a lot of funny haha times this week.
No.
This was a bit of a serious little guy.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Do you have your next month?
I am next month.
Do you have a book picked?
I do.
Oh, great.
I made Victor pick it.
Great.
So our next episode will be releasing on July 30th, and we will be discussing Colombia with the book Maria by Jorge Isaacs. Yay!
Woohoo.
We did it. Okay, bye.
See you next time.
Oh, see you next time. See you next time.
The suppression, the use of marijuana.
This podcast was brought to you in part by KCUM
Yeah, we could say that.
Please tell me you recorded that.
89.3 FM KCUM.
Perfect.